more recognized for. What you're seeing with the multicolored panels at the back of the native plant garden pools is really kind of where he started, doing a lot of architectural installations. And again, it's really about the light, the reflection, and the translucency of the material. Originally, he was invited to do an installation for Art Park, which is a park location in Lewiston, New York, not too far from here, where he and 40 other artists were invited to do installations around the grounds of the beautiful park. And he and his friend, Seaver Leslie, took different colors of blown glass panels and placed them around the environment, some in grids like this and some in the form that it takes shape in a tropical pool. So we came out here in 2015, and this was one of the new areas of the garden. This was not developed in 2006. So seeing these beautiful reflecting pools, he'd been thinking about that early Art Park installation, and the time was right to revisit it. So what you're seeing here are panels that are actually a polycarbonate material that acts very much like glass, but it's a very heavy plastic, so it keeps that, allows for that durability over time, but still gives the effect that he's looking for.
They were glass in Art Park.
They were, yes, they were. And then in the foreground, you're seeing a Nijima float boat. So there's a couple of things coming into play here. Going back to the time of Dale working in Finland, he was in the village for about a month, and they were doing all of this great experimentation, and part of that he was taking the glass and throwing it into the river that runs through the village to see how it would react, how it would mass, what kind of reflection it would produce. And there were local teenagers that would then take wooden skips, much like the one you're seeing here. They would go out and gather the glass and bring it back, and then the process would continue. That was the first time he saw the glass massed in that kind of in that way. And again, it stuck with him, percolated in the back of his mind, and then
the kids put it in the boat.
Yeah, there were just kids that were living in the village, and it ultimately became an installation that he's highly recognized for now in a lot of his museum and garden shows. In addition to that tradition from Finland, the Nijima floats were actually developed out of Dale's time on the island of Nijima in Japan, where he was working with one of the last blown glass masters, creating the fishing floats that you probably are familiar with, that hold up the nets. When Dale was a young man, we live on the Puget Sound in Seattle. He's always lived near water. You could find at that time these fishing floats. They would come across the Pacific Ocean. And again, that's sort of a memory that stuck with him. He had the opportunity to go and work with this Japanese glass blower in 1989 and developed the Nijima float series. So what you're seeing here is an example of that rather spherical form, but pushing the boundaries, using different scale, different color applications to eventually come to this.
I'm sorry, was Nijima after Finland? I mean, is that
Nijima was before Finland.
Before Finland.
Yep. Okay. Does he still do as much travel?